We're here today with Teresa, who is 34 weeks pregnant and abusing heroin. I want to add to this conversation a very dear friend and respected colleague of mine, Dr. Charles Sophie. Now, Dr. Sophie is board-certified psychiatrist and former medical director of the County of Los Angeles Department of Child and Family Services. Dr. Sophie, thank you for being here and thanks for talking about this.
Thank you.
This is a situation where, Teresa is currently using, within the last hour. What's going to happen when this baby is born, and what should happen when this baby is born?
The bottom line is everybody in this family is sick. You're all allowing this child to be murdered.
Oh, great.
Who's the voice of this child except Dr. Phil?
Is there any chance, if there's no one in the family that is capable, strong enough, unselfish enough to protect this baby, is there any chance in hell that Department of Child and Family Services is not going to be in that delivery room and take this child?
They're there now probably waiting. Absolutely. No one can have this baby until you get healthy. This baby's already an addict, which means then that either he's going to go through an abstinence syndrome where he's not going to have meds or heroin when he's born, or he's going to have to be weaned off, which doesn't even dictate what's going to come in the next 5 to 10 years of cognitive or developmental delays.
I want to add someone else to the conversation. It's Dr. Thais Alibadi, one of the country's leading OB-GYNs. She says quitting cold turkey is absolutely not the answer for Teresa. She joins us virtually. Dr. Alibadi, thank you for joining us again. It's good to talk to you again.
Thank you for having me. It makes me very emotional to listen to Teresa's story. But quitting cold turkey and doing it on her own is just not an option right now. The baby can have respiratory distress. They can compromise blood flow to the placenta, and the baby can possibly be delivered early. And obviously, fetal demise is the most concerning risk.
Well, Dr. Alibadi, you did your residency at County USC, where you cared for heroin addict pregnant women regularly, and you saw how bad this can go and how off the rails it can go. And you heard her talking earlier. She hasn't been to an OB yet. She's not taking prenatal vitamins. She said she's had an ultrasound, has a piece of paper where it says baby looks okay, but there's been no examination. There's been no lab work. There's been nothing done here. What's the risk that this baby is facing right now?
So, unfortunately, when you enter prenatal care at 34 weeks, the dates could be wrong. So just because the ultrasound, for example, measures this baby at 34 weeks, it could be that this baby is 37 weeks measuring 34 weeks. She does not remember the first day of her last period. She hasn't gotten any earlier ultrasounds. So to date and give an accurate due date is very complicated. One thing I want Teresa to know is just because someone tells you your ultrasound is okay doesn't mean anything. We need to do an anatomy ultrasound. Birth defects are common, and these birth defects are usually, you can see them in the heart, you can see them in the spine, or in the eyes. So a specialist needs to do an ultrasound.
Right, and Dr. Sophie, as you said, and Dr. Alibadi's talking about, as time goes on, there are developmental issues that can haunt this child for many, many years.
Right.
Well, hey there, thanks so much for watching. And while I have you, do you have a story or a question for me? If so, I do want to hear from you. Click on the link in the description and tell me what's going on. You just might end up right here with me on the show. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Click that little red button below. You know you want to. What are you waiting for? Do it!